Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Jernigan, and this is the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater knitters. Though all knitters are welcome, even crocheters are welcome. So come join us and have a good time with us. Hi, Sami.
Hey.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Will.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
And hello, Wally, who probably can't communicate with us because he can't get connected properly, I guess. We'll see. Wally,
Yeah.
keep trying. I know you're in there. So how is everyone doing? You have a good week?
Busy, but good. Yeah.
Work's been busy, Will?
Yeah, I haven't been doing enough knitting, but I'm looking forward to doing more in the near future.
Yeah, me too.
So, Will, how long do your schools have for their summer break?
Well, I suppose it varies from school to school, but where I'm at, I get about 10 weeks. Is that right? I get from the middle of May until about the middle of August. So maybe
Wow.
12 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
That's
nice
long time.
long break.
Yeah.
And some people choose to teach over the summer, and I've done that before, but this summer I'm not teaching.
Oh, okay.
So
Good for you.
I really do get a break. Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny, our schools in Massachusetts go from the end of June to the
Do they?
beginning of September.
Wow.
So down
ours-
south, yeah, they get a long break here in the States. It's not like in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get
Our
along.
schools get about 5 or 6 weeks in the summer. So
Right.
not quite at the end of July, about a week before the end of July, and then back in September. But then they get then they do 6 weeks and get a half-term break for a week, and then 6 weeks and get a 2-week winter break, and then 6 weeks and a half-term, and then yes.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, our kids still get that. But
Oh, right.
yeah, they do.
They get a winter
Um,
break and a spring break
Wow.
also.
That must make
Yeah.
childcare difficult for working parents then. Yeah.
Yes.
Extraordinarily, and we don't
Yes.
really have good childcare for
No.
like school-age kids.
No.
Well, and we've been having trouble here where the different districts have different spring breaks. And so one week the parents will have to take care of the kids because the kids are off from school. But then if the parents are also students at my college, their spring break might be the next week. And so it's all staggered. It's not standardized at all. And that can
Right.
be tough.
Yeah, same here. I'm in a border state, so I'm in a border city. Like, so I'm right on the border of New Hampshire,
Okay.
right? So New Hampshire's after us by a week, but
Yeah.
where I work, because I literally live on the border, I could walk to New Hampshire.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And we got parents, of course, they live in either state,
Yeah.
and they just like they throw their hands up. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So I have been trying, Jenny, and I think because I had written down the yarn that you had told me, I think I'm probably going to end up with it at the end of the day. But I got this other yarn that Ron gave me. It's nice, but it's a little bit thicker than I wanted. I'm knitting it on 3s.
Oh, okay.
I still wanted, I think, like a true fingering, right?
That looks like it's making a pretty dense fabric for 3s. Is it dense?
Does, right? Yeah, it's very dense for 3s. So I wanted something a little finer than this. But we'll see.
What was the yarn, Sumner?
This one is like in another room.
Was it the Kelburn? Was it
Kelburn
one of the
woolens.
Kelburn?
Yeah, it's
Was it
Kelburn woolen
Scout or
fingering.
something like that? I think. Was it
Yeah.
Scout? Was that what it's
It's
called?
Scout. Yeah.
And what are you going to
So-
make with it, or with
I
whatever
was
you
gonna make a
find?
sweater.
Okay.
What
I
sweater?
really want to make a sweater on like ones or twos
That'll
or
be a
even
challenge.
zeros.
You're
Yeah.
you're always up for a challenge, Summer.
Yeah, or even zeros.
Oh
'Cause
God.
Wow. Good Lord.
I love making socks on zeros. Thank you, Jenny. They
Those are
really
gorgeous.
do
Oh,
fit
what?
great.
Those are great.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
The spring on
this-
them.
But for the
I love
socks,
the
you want a
colors.
negative ease, but you don't want your sweater to fit like that, do you?
Well, no, but like, see this fabric here?
Yeah,
That's a,
that's really
and
nice.
you just build in regular ease,
yeah.
right? But that would make a lovely cuff and a sleeve,
Oh,
it
yes.
would.
right? You know,
Yeah.
I
That
don't
would
want
be an
self-striping
incredible
yarn.
sweater. Wow.
Yeah, I don't want self-striping yarn, but I
No.
want a sweater that is in a good wool. You know, I don't mind spending money on wool. Don't
No.
tell my husband. Um,
Your secret
Sumner,
is safe with us.
He already knows. He already knows.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're right, Cindy.
I think so.
I don't think this is news to him.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it is what it is.
Well, hi,
Yeah, so I
Sidra.
haven't found it.
Hi there.
Hi,
Oh, hi,
Sidra.
Sidra.
Hi,
Hello.
Sidra.
Will, I was going to ask you to remind us what it is that you teach
Oh, English. I teach English at a
To-
community college.
at a community
for-
college.
Yeah, so for adults, it's like the first 2 years of college, and then they transfer to a 4-year university.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here we go.
Hey,
Hey,
Wally.
Wally.
Hey.
Yay!
I was-
Yay.
I was trying to unwind yarn.
Oh.
You
We
know,
thought
when you
were having
crank-
technical difficulties.
Yeah, when you crank it up and it gets at the end, and all of a sudden there's 1,000 knots.
Oh no.
Oh,
I hate that. So, and then I got stuck on it, so I said, forget it. I'll do it later.
So, Will, I took my first proper like English
Uh-huh.
class that taught
Uh-huh.
me
Oh my!
how to form a sentence. That subject verb predicate stuff, literally, because I worked at Verizon and they paid for higher education.
Cool.
I didn't have it in high school.
Yeah.
And I was so lost. Like,
Yeah.
I was kept back because, I'm just French enough where I totally didn't get it. Right.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that it literally took me till I was 34, 35 years old before I was comfortable writing a sentence out,
Yeah.
like a business sentence.
Right.
oh.
I worked in culinary and hotels. You don't have to do that.
No.
I could speak just fine. I could read just
Sure.
fine, but I couldn't form a sentence
The
and
writing.
spell.
Yeah.
I still can't spell. Was so grateful. English teacher, and he came from Madagascar.
Really?
Yeah, crazy. So
And
a
was this in
French
Massachusetts?
African teaching me English, and I totally got it. And that was just by chance. I mean, his English was perfect, but
That's
yeah.
cool.
Isn't
Was
that
that
crazy?
in Massachusetts then?
That was Colorado Technical University
Oh, okay.
online.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I was always so self-conscious about being able to write English,
Yeah.
and because it's pretty complicated. And try spelling it. Forget it.
Well, yeah.
Miserable.
Yeah, the rules don't always make sense, and there's exceptions all the time.
No.
And the nice thing about teaching English, though, is that even when my students don't always want to be there, they all want to improve their writing. Everybody
Yeah.
still want to write better, you know?
Yeah. No, I was so great because I got kept back in the 4th grade. I just
Yeah.
couldn't get it. I mean, you're giving me hooked on phonics, but you're not giving me a proper English course. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
You don't see what's wrong with the little kid who can't spell? You know?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway. So truly, I'm not the brightest bulb in the.
Well, I'm
in-
glad that you got that class then. That sounds great.
Yeah, I was very grateful that I was able to do that. So yay for teaching English.
Yeah.
Yeah, hooked on phonics. You don't even hear that anymore.
No,
not at
That,
all.
that crashed and burned, and I'm living proof why.
I don't think they teach phonics in most schools anymore.
Because it doesn't work for kids who aren't
Yeah.
native,
Mm,
right?
Right.
Now I'm native, but like
Yeah.
French was spoken in my house, not
oh,
English was spoken, but not all the time, and
Yeah.
certainly not well, right?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't translate. Like phonetically, if you're French, it doesn't translate to English.
Right. Well, if you're reading and you sound out the word, that only works if you have heard the word. If you've never heard the word, sounding it out is useless, right?
Yeah. My sister, because I could read beautifully, my pronunciation was great.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea what I was reading, like
Yeah.
zero. I 101 Dalmatians
Uh-huh.
had to have read it a dozen times to my sister on my bed and have her say, okay, what did you just read? Oh,
That's funny.
infuriating. Hey, she got me into the 5th grade,
Cool.
you know? Yeah, I'll never forget it. I am roasting. The sun is coming right on me.
Yeah, it's getting
Yeah.
hot here too.
It's really warm here.
Yeah.
We're in mid 80s, which is
That's
weird.
Yeah,
Yep.
for Washington, that is very warm.
It is. Are you really warm too, Sidra?
Oh, yeah. I've just been outside most of the day, grocery
Uh-huh.
shopping with my daughter. It's like,
Yeah,
Oh.
melting. I'm melting.
It's only 56 degrees. It's
Oh,
not
Jerry's
warm.
Yeah.
showing me it's only 80 here right
It's
now.
just in front of the window. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm at 88 here and it's gonna get hotter.
Yeah, you really are living right next to the you're in the desert, right?
Yeah, we've got the air conditioning on, but
The banana
Got it.
bill. You have air conditioning? We don't have air conditioning.
we have to. It's so hot. We would roast alive.
When it gets
Well, Cindy,
when
he
it
lives
gets-
where it goes to 120 in the summer.
Well,
and
that is
maybe
true.
higher.
when it gets really hot, we go downstairs to the daylight basement because it stays cool
Yeah.
down there.
we turn our air on.
Well, we turn the air on, but there is no air conditioning. It's just
Ah.
air.
Yeah, we have air
It's just
conditioning.
it's just a oh no, we don't have air conditioning. We just have a fan.
Yeah, I have them too. So.
I do have one that oscillates though, that goes back and forth
Yeah.
and back and forth. I have that. I'm at least that advanced.
That's funny.
So I just
just-
learned that the Aurora Borealis is really strong last night and
Yes.
tonight. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Cindy, since you live farther up north, are people seeing it where you live?
A lot of people are seeing it. We did not see it right where we were. We're in the trees a bunch, and it was the sky was really light to where you couldn't see the stars, but we did not see the borealis. But my daughter that lives just maybe like 10 miles away had gorgeous pictures in her
Really?
backyard of the aurora borealis. And then
Probably
people
needed
that were
your
cool.
camera, Cindy. I needed my
Well,
camera for it.
So did you see it,
think
Sidra?
might have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
So it
Oh,
took,
that's cool.
took a couple pictures, took some movies. And actually my daughter showed something that from down in Modesto, which is,
There's
about an hour and a half south of Frank. And the newspaper showed that, newspaper showed that it
How
was
pretty.
We got it as well, which is
Better
really
worry about
unusual
it.
for us.
Did you? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Jenny,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
gorgeous.
Wait a
Jenny,
minute.
that's lovely.
Cindy, I was spotlighting you and then she did
Okay,
that.
here we go.
Yeah.
Here's some more. There's some
Oh,
more.
my.
Oh,
Oh,
my.
wow. Look at that.
Oh,
Jenny,
that's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you take that last night, Jenny?
Yeah, so these were last night over, and it
Oh,
virtually never gets this far down the country. We're right in the south, and it's
Right.
unheard of. Unheard
Wow.
of.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Here's-
You're
here's
about
one
the
of my
same
pictures.
latitude as me, I
I've
think.
only ever seen it, and it was actually in Eastern Washington, about the same elevation that it only once in my life, and it was more than 30 years ago. I've never seen it. Like that.
Right.
That was my first ever time seeing it. First
It was
ever.
like amazing.
Here's
Yeah.
one of my pictures I took.
Oh wow.
just a
Oh,
second.
that's lovely.
Oh, how nice.
Taking-
Oh,
I
come
can't see
on.
anything.
I can't. Oh, there. I'm having trouble navigating. Just a
Oh, there
minute.
you go.
Oh. Oh, wow.
There we
Oh,
go.
Look at that.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Wow.
But
Lovely.
looking at the sky, it was just all dark.
So how
Oh,
many
yeah?
days is it gonna be?
Tonight and possibly tomorrow.
Oh, I'll have to go out because I'm on a really high hill.
Oh yeah, try it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're saying it's like it's that is it like sunspot activity or something? I'm not really good, but it's like the strongest that it's been since 2005. This is a really big one. That's why
Yeah.
people are seeing it a long ways away.
And
Wow.
I
it did
forgot what it's called, but it's a solar
Solar flare.
a solar
Solar
flare. That's right.
That's what
and
it was.
it did affect our electricity this morning. I'm on the
Did it?
treadmill and all of a sudden everything went black. It's just
Oh,
the power
wow.
went out
Oh.
for
Oh,
almost a
no.
minute.
Oh, that's
Yeah, they
wild.
say it can communicate, mess up communications of all kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Neat.
So this may be a short meeting.
Yeah.
If it gets interrupted.
Or if some of us go in and out, we know what's happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's if we're going to see it tonight, it's due here in about half an hour.
Okay.
If it's going to get this far down tonight, about half an hour. So yeah, we might have something.
Oh,
Wow.
So I'll keep an eye out the window, see if we can see anything.
oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So I went into a new direction this week.
Yeah.
I have gotten bitten by the Amoragabi bug.
Oh,
Mm.
Oh, God.
Cool.
let's
What have
see.
you started?
Oh, I love it.
Crocheting.
I love it.
Little
How cute.
little bear with a hat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
That's
darling.
so cute.
I love it.
I think they're just so cute.
Yeah.
The little ears.
oh. So is that one that you make in pieces and then sew the pieces together?
Well, all I know is that the no spot again. Yes, the pieces. Where I can't seem to find spotlight very easily today. The nose is worked separately from the head, and then it's
Yeah.
sewed on. And then the
Uh-huh.
hat, of course, is worked separately. And I waited to put the ears on to make sure that the ears were located where the holes in the hat were. And the thing that was a little confusing to me was that the instructions called for the hat to have 3 more rounds, and I could see
Oh.
it was getting too large. It was going to
Yeah.
cover the eyes if I made 3
Yeah.
more rounds.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. I guess that's what you do. You just kind of make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cute.
And then, yes, there's a whole body and arms and legs and shorts.
Oh, how cute.
That is sweet.
I wish they had more knitting ones.
Yeah, they're mostly crochet.
No, you can knit him a sweater.
I had a strange reaction doing it. My mother taught me to crochet when I was a teenager, and I used to sit and watch her crocheting, and my sister would be knitting, and I would watch her knit. And I always wanted to do them, and I learned in my private time, but after my mother and my sister each taught me how to do their craft, I could not make anything because my father would have objected because it was too sissy.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't actually get to do it. But I remember, I didn't know if I would remember how to crochet because I haven't done it since I was a teenager. What was that? 65 years ago? I don't know, something like
Wow.
that.
That's
So,
amazing.
so I just picked it up and I started doing it. And I remembered how she held the needle. And as I worked it, I had the strangest feeling like my mother was looking over my shoulder and showing me how to hold the needle and how to do yarn overs. And
That's very
really
sweet.
strange. She passed away a few years ago.
Ah,
And I just felt close to my mother because I was doing what I had watched her do for so many hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel my mom when I'm sewing.
Yeah.
My mom was a seamstress at
Ah.
one of her many incarnations of a career.
Oh, well, she had a career as a seamstress.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
she was an
yeah.
actual seamstress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she was also a bit of a sea hag. My dad was a fisherman, right? So we grew up in a fishing boat, and she put herself through nursing school while she bought and sold homes.
Wow.
Yeah. And, by the time she got on her third husband, she could fly a plane.
A third husband?
Well, she's French, God love them.
No, I don't.
You
You
can't
gotta give me
marry,
the
you
history.
can't
You gotta
date.
give me a history of that.
You can't live in sin, right? You have to marry them. Like, Mom, you don't have to marry them all,
Yeah.
The cute little French lady. Love to get married. Gotta love her. Yeah, she could captain a ship. She could fly a plane. She's a pretty smart little lady. But she loved to sew.
How many of you crochet? Nobody?
I do.
I have.
I do too. Yeah.
In fact, while Frank was showing his amigurumi off, I have this sitting on my desk that I made
Oh, look at that.
5 years ago.
That's how
An
cute.
owl.
The owls. Yeah.
Oh.
Very cute. Little wings flapping.
It wants to disappear.
Yeah.
It's a magic owl.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah. But I don't crochet very often, but every
No?
once in a while, I've made a couple Afghans and some amigurumi and
I do blankets and,
Yeah.
baby things and hats and,
I've crocheted doilies.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing
Yeah.
now. I'm crocheting where I got 250 motifs I got to put together.
oh my.
So yeah, it's on the front of a woman's window. So, and it's on the number 10 crochet, and I'm using a 6 hook.
Yeah, it's a lot.
When I go to meetings and stuff, I sit there and crochet. It's easier for me to do that. So.
Yeah. That's why I started my sock.
Yes.
There you go.
For meeting.
I needed something that was a little bit more portable than attaching all this yarn to myself
Yeah.
and doing stranded color work, Portuguese style, right? Like, I just need a sock, And I'm doing the cat boardy, double circs.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, I never get ladders
Yes.
on my changes.
Not on the, for some reason you don't on the double circs. I have no
I
idea why.
never get
Magic
ladders.
loop, we always get a glitch.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well, I solved that problem. My most
Yeah.
popular video is about the solution to the ladder problem.
Yeah, the
Yes, it is.
moving the stitches.
Yeah.
right. And I use that when I'm doing a Phrancko because I have these really long, because I only have them because of you, Phrancko. Twitchy Hands is the name of the company that I buy the Addy really long corded needles.
Oh,
and they come in the mail really quick, and they're very good price, but twitchy hands. And yeah, and I follow your video to not have ladders that way.
I can't believe how popular that video became. I can't remember. Maybe I should look up and see how many people have viewed it. I'll do that real quick.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, the
It's a
ladies,
lot.
the ladies wrote the book, but after that, you never heard from them again. It was just the
Who
book.
wrote the book?
I forgot who the two ladies are.
The
Oh,
for
okay.
Magic Loop.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the Magic Loop, but you
Yeah,
never.
there was a book it was like a little pamphlet.
Yeah, it's a
It is a
pamphlet.
teeny pamphlet.
Yeah,
decades ago.
I have it, and you know, it's
Yeah.
like, but they've never expanded on it. They never had any videos or anything. Everybody else, you know, had it corrected or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it doesn't, you know. I like it, but I mean, I love the cat 40 socks, but of course I don't even have to look at the book anymore, right?
Mm.
So most of my videos have gotten 7,000 views or 4,000 views or 2,000 views.
Yeah.
This video got 137,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
lot.
wow.
Whoa.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
Oops.
I know, I tell everybody about it.
And 383 comments.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's interesting when you get that many comments. A couple of questions started being repeated. And so I did an addendum video to answer those questions. But of course, the addendum video, you have to read the description to know that there is an addendum to go look at after you watch this one. And
Yeah.
people don't read the description, so they don't see the addendum, and they still ask the same questions. And now I'm starting to say, see this video I added
Yeah.
later.
That's fun. I think the most views I ever got anything. So when I went to Korea and I visited the Royal Palace, they have a changing of the guard. I put that to music and it was on, I think, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I got like 600 something views out of it.
Oh
That was kind
wow.
of fun.
Mm.
That was kind of fun. They are drop dead serious with their big swords and everything, and it was really intimidating. You know, it was kind of fun. Kind of fun. And I was at Windsor Castle in Windsor, you know, England, and I put the changing of the guard on there. Not nearly as many views as Korea. I think it's more common to have seen the changing of the guard at Windsor than, you know, the ceremonial change of the
that's-
guard with Koreans, you know, which really cool.
So what's everybody working on? I guess we saw what you're working on, Sumner. Who else wants
Yes.
to show us?
Well, I finished half of the front of my sweater, the back. And I'm
Oh,
starting on the other half.
Oh, that turned out really nice.
It
Yeah.
did. I kind of
like
liked it, you know. So
Yeah.
I do. I like that.
yeah,
I like the color
So
a
is
lot.
that a
yeah.
is it a slip stitch pattern, Wally?
It's
Or is it just
This is that French instructions, and what it is, it's
oh, this was the one that we didn't know what the
yes,
words meant, right?
yes. You purl 4. I mean, you purl 6, and then you knit 1 below.
Oh.
But then when you turn the work, you got to knit all the way back, which is interesting because it makes it a longer stitch.
Okay.
So, you know, but now the instruction says, Sumner,
Yeah.
there's 94 stitches on the sweater. And when you're decreasing for the armholes, you bring it down to 74 stitches.
Okay.
It says 1 times 2, 1 times 3, and 2 times 4. What does that mean?
Is that well, they're not saying 74 in French. They got the number, right?
No, I got, it was translated out, and that's how he said it. They said it. It's, one times two, 2 times 4, or 2 times 3, and 2 times 1. So, and it decreases, and then you end up with 74 stitches. And you're doing it every other row.
That's coming down the
Is this
sleeve,
Right.
going towards yeah.
Right.
So it's on the sleeve or the underarm?
It's on the underarm. You're decreasing in the underarms.
You're
Like
not
Yeah.
coming to the sleeve. I'd
Well,
have to look at the pattern.
Well,
Yeah.
but is it decreasing under the underarm, like the part that curves to go under your arm?
Yes.
I mean, you're going bottom up.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I wonder if it's where they said 1 times 2, that because a lot of times for that part under the arm, you'll
Mhm.
you won't necessarily decrease, you will cast off a couple
Yeah,
and then go across and cast off on the other side.
right.
And then go
Maybe
back
that's,
and cast off the 3 and cast off the 3 and then cast off the 4 and cast off the 4.
right.
I
So
wonder if that's what it is.
maybe they're saying bind off 1 times 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll try it that way. I'll see.
because
that
that's
to
the
the-
way that's the
that's
the
on the
regular
underarm?
underarm
Yeah.
is. Usually if it's with
Yeah, because
binding off.
yeah, because it's going in,
Yeah.
and then it
Mhm.
goes up again.
Right.
Right.
So you'd bind
Okay.
off 1 stitch twice and then 2 stitches 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
And then so on.
On each side of the thing. It'll be
Seems a
interesting.
weird way to do an underarm.
It is. I mean, but I can't blame the man who translated it because he's French. And whatever he translated is what and as he said in the beginning to his cousin, he said, I don't really know all these terms.
Yeah.
So
Does he
It's
knit?
no, he's
This is
96.
his
This
French, but he
man's
doesn't knit.
96 years old.
I see.
And you're
So-
going from the hem up.
Yes. Let me go and get the,
That would make a rounded underarm.
let me get it to read.
Yeah, that would make a rounded underarm. That's weird.
Yeah.
So, oh, you took me off. There
Oh.
you go. That's kind of how the underarm for a sweater, that you have your side
Yeah.
coming up and then you bind off and then
Right.
go up.
But if you start by
going on the
binding
foot.
off, if you bind off 1 stitch and then 2 stitches.
Well,
and then
I read it as you do it, the 2 stitches.
Okay.
And then 3 stitches and 4 stitches. So I
All
don't
right.
know.
It's cast off at each end of the armhole every 2 rows, 1 times 3 stitches, 2 times 2
Okay.
stitches, and
Oh.
2 times 1 stitch.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
see, you're binding off 3
correct.
on
Yeah.
each side,
Okay.
2
Yeah.
on each side, and then the 1 on each
Yeah.
side. That's
That's
because cast
correct.
off, that's
Right, it's binding off.
binding off.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
a
Cast
little
off
bit
at
same.
no, it's at the beginning of each row, or is it at the
Yeah.
beginning and end
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
each
it's
row?
at the
Yeah, it'll be at
beginning.
the beginning of each row.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
you can't
that's correct.
do it at the end. You have to do it at the beginning and then turn.
Right, 'cause
and
you're
do it
Right,
at
turning
the
and do the
beginning of
next
other
one back.
Otherwise, you have
Right.
to reattach the yarn every row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Well,
be
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
A lot of ends to weave in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of presents a problem if you do it at the end of the row.
Yeah.
Your working yarn is at the end of the row, but you just cast it off all the stitches that are leading up to it. And you have
Right.
no place to continue knitting.
No, you gotta
Yeah.
turn
Where do we
again.
go? So yeah, you have to turn and do it the other way. But I think that's probably what it is. That
Yeah.
it's a bind off on
Yeah.
each side
Yeah.
to make it.
Well, okay. We shall see.
Well, good. We're glad that we helped, even though
Thank you,
Summer's
yes.
the only one that speaks French.
Yes.
Someone
mean-
wants to speak knitting.
Yeah.
What it says, on the 3rd row, it's 1 stitch salvage, which I understand this, you're slipping it. Then it says 6 purl stitches and then do 1 plain double stitch.
Yeah, which is
And
knit below. Knit
The
one.
double
knit the
stitches
one
and knit
below.
it below.
And they just called the sweater a pullover. Why didn't they say, whatever, fisherman's rib or something like that?
Well, you know, you could just give it any French name you want,
Yes.
and we would be none the wiser.
And you would be correct.
Right.
Yeah, because that's not technically a fisherman's rib. It's
No, because fisherman's rib is, knit one below, purl one, knit one below, purl one. How did someone come up with that idea with this, pattern is very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
they just got a fabric they liked.
yeah.
And and it's nice. So that's why. Sorry, I'm sitting at the table and I'm like knitting right into the camera, not on purpose.
Who else has something to show us?
I do.
Oh,
Wow,
good.
Sigil.
So I'm keep on going back and forth from Kathy's Angelica sweater to this blanket. And I keep on going to the blanket. But
Oh, yes, your double knit blanket.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
amazing.
that is
Look at-
awesome.
That is
Oh,
on
so
the second
nice.
bookshelf.
Bookshelf.
That's fun.
Bookshelves, look at
Yeah.
that.
That's
Super
beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's where I'm at.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And how many stitches across is that, Sidra?
Too many.
I know. I think it was supposed to have been 290. I put on 310.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
That's significant.
What are you
So I had
doing
to
with the
add
extra
stitches,
stitches?
Yeah, I had to add thicknesses to the books.
Okay.
Oh,
So got to be consistent on that one too. And it works out. It's just taking forever to get through it. Takes me about an hour to go through a row.
yeah.
Oof.
Well,
I've
Well,
only
double
done-
knitting's slow anyway.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I've only
Yeah.
done it a few times, but it was very
Mhm.
slow. I suppose you get faster at it with practice, but it's still slow.
Is that true, Jenny? Because that's what you do is double knit.
Yes, yeah. Actually, it depends on. My husband made me a knitting ring, and so it controls the yarn a lot better. So I don't get. Just show you the ring. I don't get any twists, so it's much faster. So it's just made out of a piece of. Where's my camera? A piece of
The
wire
ring.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Ah,
Oh, nice.
Oh.
with a loop on each side,
Mhm.
and then you just feed the yarn on, and you can see. Hold on.
yeah, that looks like a Norwegian knitting ring.
Is it like Norwegian? Yes. So then it just hooks. I've got one coming through
Yeah.
the back of my finger, one coming over the front of my finger,
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
and and so that means it doesn't twist.
Hmm.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah.
I got a
said-
Norwegian one, but it's so tiny, but it has the same hooks on it.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is just made out of some wire that he bought in the local hardware store.
oh, isn't that nice?
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we
Well,
we
while
made
you're
the
in
first-
spotlight, why don't you show us what you've got there?
Yeah, so I'm just I'm still working on the bag. Hold on a minute. So that's the base of the bag.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you
And we're
go.
now on the sides. And so the
Oh.
motif changes colour as it goes round the sides.
Oh,
It's awesome.
Wow.
So it'll be the
So-
same motif on the bottom, up the sides.
That's awesome.
And then
yeah,
there'll be
that
some
is.
little eyelets along the top and a long eye cord to thread through the eyelets.
And that's double knitting too, right?
Yeah, so this is double
Yeah.
knitting. So that's the inside,
Mhm.
but you'd be able to turn it inside out.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Someone else want to show us what they're doing?
Okay, I'll go next.
Why do I have to keep having to ask you?
You know why, Frank. Well, I got back my level 2 this week.
I was gonna say, you got some
Oh.
news for us.
I did. Unfortunately, Kathy was here, but she had to listen to me when I read all 11 pages of it. And I am happy to report I did not cry. So, so I get credit for that. But it really wasn't that bad. Here you can see my checklist behind me of all the things, and there's 3 things already checked off, but that's my checklist of things that I have to work on. Most of them are little writing things that I have to do, the bits of the instructions on the swatch instruction sheet, or swatch information sheet, bits of the little instructions. And so I had to, they're just like said, I don't want to give away the things, but they said, it's like, well, you know, we know that in the videos they said blue and green, but we don't want you to say blue and green. We think there's better wording. So I'm having to come up with, how else do I explain this? It really is blue to green, you know. So anyways, I'm working.
What if you're
working on
using
that.
2 different colors? You're not using blue
Well,
and green.
you're not actually using 2 different colors. It's front to back is what it is. But then you're
Oh.
trying where you're describing where the yarn goes. And so, but then they said, it's like, well, these resources that you looked at, which were in cast on, which we approve of, they do say that, but we think there's a better wording. So, you know, I'm trying to come up with a better wording. So we'll see if I do or not. But a lot of the comments, a lot of the swatch information sheets that I have to redo, it's that little bit having to do with that section of the thing where I'm explaining that part of how to do the beginning of the seam and the seam. For the swatches themselves, there was 2 that I have to redo, the beginning of the seam, which I've already done.
Is that the figure
top of
8
the
you're
seam.
talking about?
No, the figure 8 I did fine, and the alternative start, which
Oh.
is like a figure 8, but it's got that extra piece in it. It's at the very top of the seam where you actually do a figure 8 at the top. But I didn't write on my instructions how to end the seam. They didn't say to do that, but now they say, oh no, you have to say how to end the seam. So I'm writing little instructions on how to end the seam. And then there was one swatch that I have to reknit. It was the double ribbing. And that I was a little bit short. And so they said I have to actually reknit that and reseam that one. They loved my reports. They loved my writing well. So that was good.
Great.
Yes, I'm going to cough. Good. But I do have to redo the vest.
What's that?
I have to redo the vest.
The vest.
Yeah, the vest, it's like they gave really nice comments that it was, you know, that it was tensioned. The tension was lovely. The seaming was lovely. The pickup was lovely. The cast on was lovely, you know, all that stuff. But my gauge was off. And I knew that it was. And I am one of these people that's going to say, choose the yarn that you know that will work, not the yarn you want. You know, don't be doing this for that. So so I'm redoing a gauge swatch right now.
Okay.
With this is Almond of Plymouth Yarn Scalway. Oops.
Okay.
No, that's right side up. Plymouth Yarn Scalway.
Uh-huh.
So I'm redoing that.
How far off was
but-
your gauge that they made you redo this vest?
We're not even going to go there. It was too far, Frank.
But the vest was gorgeous.
The vest was gorgeous, and Ruby loves it. But it is more form-fitting than the pattern specified. And
Yeah.
what you have to do is you have to have it fit what the pattern says.
Mm.
And I got really nice comments on the wristlet too. They love that one. And the sock, all this stuff was good again, but my sock gauge was a little bit off. But I am very, very, very thankful to all the level 2 reviewers that they did not make me redo the sock, because then I would have cried.
Because the sock was the Argyle, right?
Yeah.
The sock was the
Yeah.
Argyle, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh, thank you that you didn't make me do that one.
You should
Like
send them.
the best I can do.
You should send them the emotional chicken when you do it back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing for the other thing I did wrong on the vest that I know I did wrong now looking at it, stuff was going on personally with my mom and stuff at that time, and I was just not focusing as well. And I got to the end, and it's like I just have to send this in, or I'm never going to do it. I'm going to quit. And so I just decided to send it in, and then they sent it back. And so now I'm redoing the vest. But at least I got feedback about all the other stuff, and generally it was very, very good. And they are very positive, very specific about what you need to do, how to do it, where to look, gave the references for things. I mean, they're very kind, very nice. They really do want you to be better knitters. Very, very much so.
Well, you shouldn't feel bad about having to resubmit, because that's normal. They
Yeah.
try to have
I
you,
think so.
everybody should have to resubmit a submission at least once. Or else you're not learning anything from you didn't make any mistakes.
From
You're
what you've
perfect.
done.
Why are you taking this class, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
When I was doing reviews, I don't want to say there was only one, but there were very few of the many reviews I did. There were very few that I didn't say this needs to be redone, at least on something. I mean, and each reviewer feels that way. And you had 2 reviewers plus your co-chair review it.
Yeah, so there was 3 people that reviewed it total.
And they're all looking for things to be able to tell you to resubmit. So that should make you feel better, because I think you did really well.
Well, I learned something, I mean, a couple different things, but the one that I want to share with you guys that I thought I understood it, but I understood it, but I didn't know there was a little more to it. When you're picking up around the neckline, that that the pickup ratio for the horizontal is 1-to-1, 1 per 1 stitch you pick up each time. And the pickup for the vertical is you have to figure out what your ratio is from stitches to rows. And so, I got that. But then the thing is the pickup for the diagonal line that kind of curves as you go around the neck, or as in one of the samples, it might be in a V. That's the diagonal. A diagonal line, I always thought you picked up the same as you did for the horizontal, but that is not the case, because your diagonal line is actually a little longer than it would be just going over. And so you're supposed to actually measure that diagonal line, like use a measuring tape and measure that diagonal line, and then take however long that was, and then figure out how many stitches it is, and figure out the ratio for your diagonal section too. And I didn't realize that there was kind of 3 different ratio stuff that you would be working with. I only knew about 2, so I learned that this time.
All right.
Cool.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thanks, Holly.
But I mean, still in all, Cindy, what they sent back was really not a lot.
No, it really wasn't. It really wasn't bad. I think that it was pretty good. And to knit the vest was, I don't think it'll be that long for me to do it either. It had the tubular cast on and a tubular bind off, and so working the vest the first time, that was something that was kind of new to me, and I've learned how to do that, so I know I can do it a little bit better and faster this time. And like I said, I mean, all the seaming was good, my tension was good. they like the cast on and bind off, and they like the pickup around the neck. They said, oh, it's very neat and nice. So it's like, I just have to get gauge. How hard can that be?
Yeah, right.
Well, I have a gauge. It's not a question so much as just a venting, because I'm having trouble getting gauge with the yarn that I bought. And I bought a lot of this yarn, and so I really do need to get gauge, or I guess I could find a different
Yeah.
project. Has anybody
Well,
worked?
hey, wait, you could do a Phrancko sweater and do whatever gauge you've got.
I'm thinking about that. That might what I do.
Just stick a plug in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seriously considering it because so the yarn is Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
Oh, it's a lovely.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
wonderful, and I bought
Mhm.
hundreds of dollars worth of it.
Yeah.
And I love it enough for at least 2 sweaters. But the ball band, when I look at the gauge on the ball band, it says 6 to 8 stitches per inch on a US 0 to 4.
Oh, wow.
So that's a 2 to a 3.5 millimeter. So that's a fingering weight yarn, and that's what I expected. And the pattern that I was going to use, I thought it would work for, but then I started swatching it, and I'm usually a tight knitter. So what I usually do is I look at the needle size that they ask for, and I go up 1 size, and I start there to see what kind of gauge I get. So the ball band said a US 0 to 4, so I started on a 5. And I got 21 stitches to 4 inches on a US 5. So way looser than
I'm sorry, 25 stitches?
Okay.
21.
And they
Okay,
said,
I'm gonna.
what? How many stitches?
21.
No, how many did they say you were expecting?
Oh,
6.
6 to 8.
6
per
to
inch.
8.
So-
So
so
that would be, 20.
24 to
24
20
to
28.
32.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
Right.
lot.
And so that's one issue is using the needle size I thought I would need. It's just way looser than what I was I mean, it's knitting up closer to a sport weight
yeah.
than a fingering. But then the other thing is it's a woolen spun yarn, which I love. And here's my swatches. Oh, hang on. Let me turn my
All
back
of you
off.
disappeared.
I know. Hang on. Let me turn it off, because then you'll be able to see. Okay.
There we go.
So here's my swatch. And it's a woolen spun yarn, which I love the way that it feels and the way that it looks and everything. But when I'm working with it, I'm finding it very hard to knit with. And so what I even tried going up a needle size. So on a size 6, it feels really good in my hands. It feels smooth and it's easy to knit, but I'm getting 19 stitches to 4 inches. So
Okay.
my gauges if I knit it on a needle size where it feels comfortable, the gauge is nowhere near what it's supposed to be. And so I'm just
Okay,
trying to decide what to
don't
do.
worry about what the ball band says and what
Yeah.
it says it is. You
That's
want to
good
go
advice.
for what gives you the fabric that you like
Yeah.
and whatever size needle that is. And you want to be sure that you block it, because
I did.
particularly stuff like that will change.
I
Yeah.
did.
So what is the fabric? What is giving you the fabric that you like?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it
Which
giving you
size
the
needles are giving you the fabric?
grape or is it, I mean, yeah, how does it feel?
It feels
Yeah.
great. I love it. And
So then you find a pattern, or you use
Yeah.
a Phrancko that
Right.
is whatever it is that it's coming out.
yeah, no, that's
Because the other
good
thing
advice.
is Targhee is a very different wool.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more spring than a bunch of the other wools that we're used to dealing with.
And this is, Targhee Columbia wool.
Yes.
And it does feel I like the way that it feels, but on the needles, it behaves differently. And I mean, if I I haven't tried it, but I think if I went down to the needle size that I would need to get the gauge that I was planning to get, that it would just really be hard on my hands. And
Well,
And the
that's-
fabric might
that-
be too
the
dense.
fabric would be too
Yes.
dense. It'd be
Yeah.
kind of like, you don't want a sweater that's like cardboard.
I
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
Using the larger needle opens it up more, and in the end, I think it would use less yarn, so it'd be more lightweight, and I would prefer that over a more dense fabric that's
Mm.
heavier
Yeah.
and warmer. I don't need warm sweaters where I live. It's pretty
Right.
rare that I
Right.
need something very warm. So
And it has a nice drape. So what,
But-
the bigger the needle, the nicer the drape. So
yeah.
so the pattern is calling for this particular yarn?
No. I'm substituting.
Yeah.
I'm substituting the yarn for the pattern, and I guess it's just one of those times where it turns out the yarn substitution that you thought was going to work isn't going to work.
Isn't gonna
Yeah,
work.
join my club, Will.
Yeah.
All of our clubs.
And it worked up really nice. It just was not
Yeah.
the gauge it was
It just
supposed to be.
does
I mean,
right.
it's beautiful, but it's not the gauge it was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
And that's
Well,
a
thanks for-
fingering. Will,
Thank-
and you're knitting it on sixes?
Yeah, I think I like it best on the sixes, which is
Okay.
But it really, I would think probably that Targi, that it's gonna, even if it's a narrow yarn like that, it's gonna
Yeah.
knit more like a sport. It's got
Yeah.
more spring to it.
yes.
Yeah,
Quite a
because-
bit more spring.
Is that blocked? Have you blocked it?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
blocked.
okay.
Yeah.
It looks nice though.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
Love it.
nice.
it's
Yeah.
great. I just have to find a pattern now or a Phrancko.
Well, can you go on Ravelry and search for a pattern by gauge?
Yeah, I think you
I don't
can.
know, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Frank, I'm sure, and you could do it all the different necklines that you want. You could do a
Yeah.
cardigan. You can do whatever.
Well, the thing
Frank.
is that I also have bought yarn that I had planned to be for a Phrancko that's still sitting back in my closet over there. So maybe I'll have two Phrankos come forward.
Well, I mean, there's so many different variations on the Phrancko that we've seen
Yeah.
with all of us that have knit them. I mean, I've knit, I don't know, like 6 or 7, and every single one is very different for all
Yeah.
different kids, different styles, different everything. So
Well, that's good.
you don't
Thanks
have
for
to worry that all
helping
your
me.
sweaters are going to look the same.
Right. Thanks for talking. I think I just had to hear somebody else say, knit it on the needle that works and not what the ball band
Yeah.
says.
That's
Right.
right.
Exactly, always. Mhm.
Yeah.
But that particular ball band, that's a very broad.
Well,
range.
there's not just a
No, I
generalization
mean,
on it.
I mean, like 24 to 32, that's a huge range.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah, it
huge
is.
range.
maybe you have to email Jared and ask him. He'll probably tell you.
Yeah, he would.
It's hard to imagine what the fabric would feel like at 32 if you like
That's
what
right.
it's getting at 21.
Right.
Maybe I'll knit a swatch just for curiosity.
Yeah, that's really
and see
strange.
what it
That's a
be like.
huge difference.
It really is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
Pull out
is.
a size 1 or 2 needle and
Mm.
make a little swatch.
Gotta be awful stiff.
I think it would be.
Be very dense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could never wear it where you live.
No,
I'd be
when I
fine.
travel.
Send it to an Alaskan. Yeah.
I'll pay for the postage. So here's a question, and I don't think it necessarily matters. So if you're making a swatch, like I did with the Jody Long Delish. Now, Cindy, have you ever knit in Delish?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's the
I've knit in
fingering weight,
several.
50% silk.
Yeah, I've knit in several of the Jody Longs, but I haven't knit in that one.
I was wondering if, because I know a bigger gauge is gonna make it a looser fabric, which is not necessarily what I want living in northern Massachusetts, right?
Mhm.
But would it mean less pilling? I think it might be worth a try.
Now, and this is what's the mix of fibers?
60 silk, 60 wool.
Depends on what
why
the
do
wool
you get a
is.
pill? Is it fuzzy wool?
It's fuzzy. It has a big it has a lot of halo.
Oh, I see.
Oh, huh.
I wasn't expecting it to have as much halo.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I would think that it would have to be the wool that's creating the halo.
I would think so.
I think so.
I mean, now
Because silk wouldn't do that.
it doesn't halo, although it can be, the raw silks
Well,
can be
depend
very
raw
much like
silk
linen.
could be the raw silk could be slubby, but it's not what I
Yeah,
would
it's more
refer
like
to as
linen.
halo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
no
wouldn't
halo.
refer to it as a
Yeah.
halo. It's got more of a slub texture to it.
Yeah, because boy, I really love the feel of that swatch, but I don't think I could cope with the pilling.
So is it pilling? Have you carried it around in your pocket?
Oh yeah, no, it pilled and I haven't even carried it around.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Okay.
Bill's just lying on the
No.
shelf.
I don't know what you're gonna now. It's like a gorgeous textural, very sensual yarn to knit. It's lovely.
Mhm.
But what are you gonna do with it?
Amigurumi, or however you say that word.
Amigurumi?
The little
Yes,
stuff down the
I'll even show you guys something that's interesting.
Well, you because it's about time for us to say goodbye.
Very quick. So
Okay.
you can even see on the video how much of a halo there is. See the
yeah.
pills?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
Blimey.
Now
Wow.
That looks
it's a
like you've worn it
lovely
for weeks.
fabric. If
Yeah, it
you'd
is a lovely
wear
fabric.
holes right through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're making with it.
Do you have one of those pill shavers?
I do, but it just I fear that I'm going to take half of the weight off this.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
But then I love
it's
the
weird that it
Kelborn.
would
The
pull
Kelborn's
when
lovely,
you haven't
and
even done anything with it.
the Kelborn has mohair in it, and it's not pilling.
Mhm.
really?
Yeah.
And it's got
Yeah.
a halo.
A little bit, but it
The
won't pill.
Calburn has a tighter twist, and I don't know about this specific one,
Yeah.
but the other Calburn that I've done
It's
have
tighter.
a little tighter twist. Mhm.
Yeah, that's not going to pill. It'll pill a little bit, but not much. Anyway, yeah, that's what I was dealing with.
Well, it is time for us to say goodbye once again.
All right.
Thank you all for coming. It's been
Yeah.
another joyful meeting.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Frank. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Have a nice week, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, Jenny, happy Mother's
Yeah.
Day, everybody.